the Mets here. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of when.
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Shea Stadium. The big story. Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
We got the teamwork to make the dream work. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Ooh, we got the teamwork to make the dream work. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets at Rob and another Mets Hot Stove Live. We are 11 days away from pitches and catching, reporting to spring training, and exactly, let's just check the date, February 20th, where 16 days until position players actually report to spring training, and then we're in full-blown baseball mode. Can't wait for that to happen. Of course, I am going down to Port St. Lucie at the end of the month to see the first spring training game of the year at home with the Seven Line Army. Can't wait for that. But again, another hat on deck that I got from the Seven Line. This is one of my favorite ones, even though I just got it. Got that nice little Mets script with the New York and the NY logo. It's perfect. So hopefully everybody is doing okay. We're a little bit on a couple of days hiatus for the stream because, let's be honest, guys, there isn't really nothing to talk about, mostly regarding the Mets and even baseball, since free agency is basically almost done, even though there's a couple of guys out there that we're still thinking that the Mets could get, like a bullpen arm. It's basically set in stone. Everybody who is going to be attending spring training and everything else that we're going to have to talk about when spring training gets closer and closer, and we're only 11 days away from pitches and catches, 16 days away from position players reporting, and that's something that I always get excited for. You know, from the week off from the championships games until the Super Bowl, it's very, very slow. Not a lot of news, you know, besides basketball and hockey. They ain't really, you know, this is like a dead period in sports for the most part. And it's kind of frustrating because, like, you know, you want to have content, you want to do some stuff, and you want to have fun, you want to start talking to everybody and enjoy, everybody's comments and everything like that. And it stinks around this time, but of course, it's really going to pick up over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we are going to start with, I already saw people in the comments talking about Matt Allen. We will talk about that and another more unfortunate news about him. And but with that said, don't forget, guys, tomorrow, Shea Bridge show tomorrow, 6 p.m. I just spoke to my boy Mike. He's going to be available, because of the last couple of weeks with playoffs for football, and work gets in the way for both of us, so it's hard for us to get it together when it comes to the show. But again, it's not the season yet, so it's not that big of a deal. But we will be doing it tomorrow, 6 p.m. Shea Bridge show tomorrow, 6 p.m. All right, guys, so let's get started with the topics at hand. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, say what's up. Don't be shy, guys. Everybody is welcome here on this channel. It is a Mets channel, but if you're not a Mets fan, don't worry about it. Just be respectful for everybody. You can root for your team. You can always talk about your team if you want to, but just be respectful. And once again, guys, don't be shy. Say what's up in the chat. You'll always get a shout out here on this channel. All right, guys. So Explosive, Sean, a member of Talking Mets and Rob. David and his Eagles are in Super Bowl mode right now. Robert, what's up? Jose, what's up? How is everybody doing today? And I do know that some comments are not getting through. Somebody's been commenting me about that. And a couple people emailed me about the comments not going through. Sometimes it could be YouTube's issue. I know who's been blocked, who's been timed out and all that, but right now, we have about 35 people right now, and not everybody's commenting at the moment, which again, you don't have to, but I just want to let you know that some comments have been taking longer to go through for some reason, and I'm not sure what the issue is, but I do see Lord Commander. How you doing, buddy? So don't think that I'm trying to block you or anything like that. If you'll know if you get blocked, trust me, I usually bring it up. So just keep on bringing it in, keep on bringing the comments, guys, your questions and all that stuff. So let's get started with the topics at hand. Number one, intro about spring training, everything that's going to go down. Everybody who knows me and knows Hayden from Mets Talk with Hayden, he already lives down in Florida. I'm meeting up with him when I fly into Port St. Lucie. I'm gonna meet up with him, and we're gonna hang out the entire weekend. We're gonna do live streams and all that stuff. We're gonna do it from our phones. We're gonna do it from our from my hotel room. All that fun stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in for that. Trust me, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm gonna, YouTube now is like basically demanding that all you content creators do YouTube shorts. So there's going to be a lot of shorts probably during spring training for content. So make sure you check the YouTube shorts and my YouTube shorts as well, so you can get the content, because a lot of the times I might be walking around the spring training facility and it's going to be hard to go live at times because service is pretty good there, but when you're walking around the spring training facilities, the Wi-Fi is not great around there. So I don't want to have, blurry content when you guys want to see the spring training facilities. So that's something that we are going to make sure that we're going to try to bring to you. And the YouTube Shorts is probably the easiest thing to do that. Also, when the 7 line goes to Port St. Lucie and they go into the first game, we're going to be on the hill, which is in right field at what the hell is it called now? Clover Park. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to do some content there. What I'm going to do for a video is ask random Mets fans, mostly in the 7 line army or around the ballpark, what do they think the Mets record is going to be for 2023? And I want to get like an average of how many people say. I'm going to write it down and all that fun stuff. I just ordered my scorebook that I usually get, the Bob Copperton scorebook. I'll be waiting for that. So that's another fun thing that I always like to do. And I always try to like do the scorecard as much as possible. But I am, especially with a lot of the games that are around 6:30 starts and 6:40 starts this season, it's going to be a heck of a lot more easier to do more games. As you guys know, I work overnight, so it's hard to, constantly do games every single day, even though I would love to. But again, it would be nice to see more games and be live during those a lot of the games as well. Again, the first 7 games of the season are on the road. So again, you guys know I'm also going to Miami for for opening day in Miami. So obviously opening day, I'm going to be at the game, so I'll bring you some coverage there. Let's hope that ballparks other than Citi Field have better Wi-Fi. I think Miami has really good Wi-Fi, so I'll definitely do a fifth inning live for you guys as we did the last couple of years with the games and all that fun stuff. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And the most important thing that I put up a poll. I don't know if you guys seen it on my community page about doing a video about my hat collection. Again, I'm probably going to do like about 25 of the hats that I have that I bought over the last probably 3 or 4 years. So I'm going to do a video with that. I'm going to explain, if I can remember, every single hat that I got, even if it was a giveaway or just a hat I bought from the 7 line or the MLB shop or somewhere online. So I'm going to be doing that video in the coming days, probably Monday or Tuesday, most likely. But before we get started with the rest of the topics, remember 6 p.m. Shea Bridge Show tomorrow. So let's get started, and we're going to talk about Brett Baty. And we've heard a lot of news about Brett Baty over the last couple of weeks. There was some indications, when they spoke to him that he wants to make the team. He'll play anywhere. When the Mets were going to get Correa, Baty said he would play left field. He doesn't care as long as he's on the big league roster. And then a couple of days ago, we heard that Brett Baty has been working out with Troy Tulowitzki, which is interesting because when Tulowitzki was in his heyday, he was one of the better defensive shortstops in baseball. And, because he played in Colorado, offensive stats can be a little, skewed a little bit. But Baty has been working mostly on the defensive problems that we all knew he had. There was a lot of problems that Brett Baty, if you notice when he came up with the Mets, and it was a little bit of a scouting report from the minors, that he has no problem getting to balls. He can catch any ball. The problem is when he has time to throw the ball, he kind of has problems throwing accurately to first base. And that's something that, if you guys remember, David Wright had a problem with, that David Wright can catch any ball in the hole, can make diving catches to his left or his right. Sometimes when he had time, he wouldn't throw the best ball to first base. And Brett Baty, we noticed, and I noticed, especially when he was up with the Mets, that he actually had issues throwing the ball to first base. So Tulowitzki, the better defensive players in baseball, shortstops in his day. It's nice to see that Brett Baty is, getting some knowledge from Troy Tulowitzki, working on footwork. Because again, the biggest thing, and I've played third base, so I know this constantly. I never had the best arm from the corner position. You can actually throw pretty well and accurately, even if you don't have a strong arm, with proper footwork. And I used to work on that constantly in high school. That my coach, that he was the one big reason why I played better at third base, was because of the fact that we all knew I didn't have a great arm. So if I work on your proper footwork, the crow hop, throwing the first and everything like that, if you get enough momentum, if you get perfect footwork, going to first base to throw the ball, you'll have a lot of accurate first base. And I had a tendency, like David Wright, to throw a little bit sidearm, and that's something where you will see the ball tail like that. And Brett Baty is more taller, is more lankier, and he throws a little bit more over the top, so the ball can either go like this and dip, or it can just go up and rise like that, even though that's like a mirage when you see a ball go, a ball rise physically. If you ask a physicist, that the ball cannot do that. But we could see a ball rise because we see with four-seam fastballs. And sometimes you're not always going to have the perfect grip. Sometimes you're not going to get the proper hand, the fingers on the seams properly. So sometimes the ball might tail. Again, if you play baseball, you guys know that the fact that, hey, Ken's here, look at that. Um, so it's nice to see that Brett Beatty is striving to get better. And the big reason why I like that so much is the fact that Brett Beatty knows there's a chance he can make the team, but there's also a chance he can start in the minors because you never know. There's always one guy in spring training that shows up that bats like 370, 380 and shows up and does everything well, like Pete Alonso did in 2019. That's something that if that happens, that player is probably going to make the roster and bump somebody off the roster. So, Brett Beatty can talk all he wants, but he has to show up in spring training. He's going to get a ton of opportunities with Escobar being in the WBC and a couple other players being in the WBC. Brett Beatty's going to get a lot of starting time at spring training, and he's going to be able to show that he's worth a roster spot going up north to start the season, or actually staying in Florida for opening day in Miami. So that's something that you have to watch closely, because I think the only guy that will make the team that is a top prospect for the Mets is Brett Beatty. I don't think Ronnie Mauricio. That's why I put up that poll today, because I wanted to see where everybody was at. Again, I can't see the poll at the moment because I'm live, but Brett Beatty was winning by a decent margin before I went live. So Brett Beatty is the type of guy that I think has the potential to make the team. Alvarez is already, the Mets already came out and said it. He is not making the team. Again, Francisco Alvarez can change a lot of minds. Brett Beatty can struggle, and Francisco Alvarez can have a Pete Alonso spring training, and then you have no choice but to bring up Francisco Alvarez. And you know what? The Mets, even if he does have a great spring training, still might not make the team because of the fact that the Mets came out and said they want him to be, they see him as the catcher of the future. They know his bat is going to be powerful at the big leagues. So it's just a matter of getting his defense at major league caliber. And if he does that, the Mets might have not, if Alvarez was ready to go defensively coming into the 2023 offseason, they would have never got Narvaez. So that only tells you that they're not comfortable with Francisco Alvarez being the everyday catcher, because he still's got to work with the pitching staff. He still's got to work better with certain things, with blocking balls, framing pitches, working well with, again, the rotation and everything like that. And Narvaez talked about helping Francisco Alvarez out. Francisco Alvarez has really been working on his English as well, which is obviously, it's always great to learn two languages, especially Spanish in baseball, but you also have to know English because there's a lot of English players as well. So that's something that you have to have good communication as well. And I think Alvarez is going to be working hard to get to that point. But it's just a matter of, you can work as hard as you can, but at some point there is a limit to, I think, your skills. And even if you work hard every day, doesn't mean that you're going to get better every single time. But it's nice to see that Francisco Alvarez will be doing that as well. So Brett Beatty was one of the polls as options on the poll. Alvarez was obviously, Ronnie Mauricio was one, and Mark Vientos. The reason why I put Mark Vientos is because of the fact that he came up. He was one of the first ones that was called up, that was trying to help the DH position, and he struggled. But all indications are he is a really good bat, and he showed it in the minors. Can he get another opportunity? Mark Vientos is an interesting piece, because if the Mets don't think Beatty is 100% ready yet, they can put him in the minor leagues. That's the whole point of having a guy that has a ton of options left, right? But with Mark Vientos, the big thing about him was, one, he was positionless. Two, if he's going to hit, he's going to be a DH. So, can he be an option? Mark Vientos can be a guy that can get Darren Ruff DFA'd. Because if Mark Vientos has a very good spring training, and I mean very good, and Ruff is struggling out of the gates of spring training, I wouldn't be shocked if the Mets DFA Ruff and give Mark Vientos a chance. And you know what? I would not be mad about that at all. Again, I find it hard to believe that Darren Ruff could be as bad as he was. I mean, no home runs. He barely did anything. Every time he came up to the plate, he either struck out or popped up. And that's something that the Mets would have to really consider if Mark Vientos has a good spring training. King Fuego, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I know, Ken. You want to be a yeah, hey Ken. Listen, I know you got that secret Yankee jersey in the back of your closet. Don't lie. So that is something that is very interesting to think about. But I know a lot of people, and I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it in my comments. I've seen it in the polls. Ronnie Mauricio is a popular figure amongst Met fans because of the fact that we've heard about him for years. He was one of our top prospects not too long ago. Slowly but surely, he's been going down and down in the prospect list because there's been guys that been drafted or been taken over those top spots. Mauricio was number 1 not too long ago, and now he's number 6, right? Kevin Parada is in there. Alex Ramirez, obviously Alvarez and Beatty and all those guys are in there. So, yeah, King Fuego, look, the Dominican MVP is awesome in the Dominican Winter League, but it's still not Major League Baseball, okay? I can assure you, if you check the list of Dominican MVPs over the last 10 years, how many of those players are actually in Major League Baseball, right? The pitching is good, but it's not Major League Baseball caliber either. It's one of the better leagues, don't get me wrong, but we also have to take into consideration that, yeah, there's pressure because obviously, in countries like that, it's baseball 24/7. But you know what? There isn't the pressure of being the top prospect, being everything that is associated with being a major league player, right? I mean, you can just see players that, like King Fuego just said about the KBO, when during the pandemic, that was the only league going on. If you watch them, you can tell that it wasn't as good as Major League Baseball. The same thing with the Dominican Winter League. It's not as good as Major League Baseball. Again, it's the next tier with KBO and the Dominican Winter League. Like, I do think the Dominican Winter League is probably slightly better. Probably I would rank it number 2 and then KBO number 3. But, once again, I can assure you, check back on the last 10 Dominican MVPs from the Winter League, and there's a pretty good chance that those players, when players like that go into the Dominican Winter League, are, one of the 1 or 2 year players, prospects, guys that, are like on the fringe of making a Major League Baseball roster. They go there to show their worth, right? They're not there to stay in shape, right? That's why the Juan Sotos of the world, the Pete Alonsos, the Jeff McNeils, any of the Starlin Martes are not going to the Dominican Winter League to play because 1, you can risk injury. 2, if you're already established, there's no point in going into those leagues to get hurt. The Arizona Fall League, the same thing. You see a lot of prospects go into those leagues and the Dominican Winter League and stuff like that to work on their game because they're looking to make the majors or they're looking to get a contract from Major League Baseball with some of the older players or the players that are not well established. So that's what those leagues are for. And, again, just because Ronnie Mauricio won the Dominican Winter League MVP does not mean that he's going to go into the Major League roster and then tear it up, right? Again, he can. And, I still think the Mets kind of screwed up that situation with Ronnie Mauricio, but they didn't screw it up to screw up the Ronnie Mauricio situation to hurt the team, right? They brought in Lindor. McNeil established himself. They got Escobar because Ronnie Mauricio wasn't quite ready last year. So that is something that you have to look at when you're talking about Ronnie Mauricio. And when Ronnie Mauricio actually attempted to play the outfield, it didn't last very long. So that's something that is you can't really put him in a situation because you don't want to hurt his value if it becomes an option, if you have to use him as trade bait in the trade deadline to get a solid player or a really good player that might become available. You have that chip in waiting just in case. And I think the Mets are using Ronnie Mauricio as a trade chip because where are they going to play him, right? The DH is clogged up at the moment. No matter if you dislike or like the DH options the Mets have right now, the point is the Mets are going with those options. And they're not going to make Ronnie Mauricio be the everyday DH when they know he can play very well defensively. Once they signed Lindor, they should have moved him to second base and thought about McNeil in left field. That's what they should have done, but they did not do that. They put McNeil there because he was really good. He got better defensively. And then Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos were your prospect third basemen, right? Vientos kind of fell on the wayside with third base, but Brett Beatty's in front of there. So you're not going to move Beatty to put Mauricio in there. So Mauricio has nowhere to play on the infield. And then on top of that, left field is the only place I can think you can try Mauricio out, but the Mets are not willing to do that. So if you're not willing to do that, then there is no point of holding on to an asset that you can clearly get something good for to help this major league roster. And I think Ronnie Mauricio is going to be that guy eventually that's going to be on the trade block at some point to get. And I'm not talking about, a David Robinson. I'm talking about either a big bat, if Shohei Ohtani happens to be available, Mauricio is going to be a key person on that, in that package. And that is something that you have to look at. All right. So that's where we are when it comes to Brett Beatty working out with Troy Tulowitzki. And on a little bit of a crappy news, once again, a Mets prospect needs surgery, and that is none other than prospect, and I'm not even calling him a top prospect anymore, is Matthew Allen. Once again, Matthew Allen is going on the shelf again. Won't be available to pitch until 2024. He is having revision UCL surgery, which is something that Met fans should know quite well. When Zach Wheeler had that revision surgery after his Tommy John, because he missed almost full 2 years with Zach Wheeler, and that is something that Matt Allen is going through right now. So there was clearly something wrong with the elbow of Matt Allen, because once you have the Tommy John surgery, after you do your recovery, you should be ready to go. You should be pitching. You get your strength back and all that stuff. Unfortunately for him, he has to have revision surgery of that ulnar collateral ligament, and that sucks, unfortunately. So it's not what Met fans wanted to hear, but if you would continue, because there was people last year, there was people just in the beginning of this offseason that were talking about Matt Allen. And, I don't like to talk about a person that cannot, if you can't be on the field, I don't want to hear about that person. And that's something that Matt Allen has not been a part of. When he was healthy before he had Tommy John, he was electric. Like, he was at the top of the list, the prospect list, and everybody thought he was going to be, they were comparing him to Matt Harvey in the minors. And it sucks, but what are you going to do, right? Injuries happen. Not everybody pans out. The bad thing about this situation was the Mets had a top pitching prospect in their top 10 list that they were going to probably, Matt Allen, if he remained healthy, probably would have been a part of this rotation last year if everything went well. But we didn't have that option because he's been injured. And that sucks because the Mets lack pitching prospects. I know we got Ziegler. I know we got Tidwell, but they're at least another year, possibly 2 away, depending on how they progress this year. There's a pretty good chance that Ziegler might be the guy from Mississippi State that might be the guy that progresses enough that you might see him next year in this rotation. Tidwell, I still see probably around 2025. I haven't really checked their estimated time of arrival as of right now, but I do think Ziegler is more of a chance of getting to the big leagues next year, but that is not really going to help the team this year. So once again, Matt Allen, revisionist, Tommy John. Well, technically it's Tommy John surgery, but they call it revision UCL surgery, which I don't know what that is. You can Google it, but I'm assuming they probably, I don't know if they reattach a new ligament. I don't know if they remove scar tissue. I don't know what it is, but that is something that is unfortunate because as Met fans, we heard a lot about Matt Allen. Ronnie Mauricio and Matt Allen were the darlings of the top prospects from the Mets a couple of years ago. And as you've seen, it's not like Mauricio was hurting his value, but there's been players that have been going past him. And because of Matt Allen's injury, which is amazing to me that Matt Allen was in the top 10 for so many years when he hasn't pitched. And you know what? After this year, he's definitely going to be out of the top 10, not pitching this year. And that's unfortunate. But let's hope Tidwell and Ziegler move up the charts because the Mets are going to need some pitching prospects coming up the ladder very, very shortly. Next thing on the list, there was a lot of craziness that went over the last day or two about Juan Soto liking, I believe it was an Instagram post because it was Juan Soto Instagram thing where he was working out and, it was like a cool montage video. It was pretty cool. And somebody put the $500 million Queens man or something like that. And obviously, they were talking about him going to the Mets after he becomes a free agent after the 2024 season. I don't know why people care about that since he's not going to help this team at least until 2025. But he liked it. He liked the post, the comment, and everything like that. And people just take off with everything social media, which is hilarious to me considering the fact that if you follow the saga of Correa followed the Mets on Instagram, unfollowed the Mets on Instagram, follow them, unfollow them back and forth over that whole time when Correa and the Mets were trying to figure out everything with the medicals and the contract and everything like that. So take that with a grain of salt. But people, it was trending on Twitter. It was crazy. And if anybody's going to talk about Juan Soto, don't. Because to talk about Juan Soto prior to the 2023 season, when this guy is not going to be a free agent until after 2024, makes absolutely no sense. As Met fans, you should not be worried about it. You want to talk about Ohtani, you want to talk about Machado, fine. Those guys that are on the horizon after this season, and Ohtani's probably going to be a possibility at the trade deadline if the Angels have a rough first half and are going to trade Shohei Ohtani. That's when we talk about it. So, okay, Yaman, thank you. So, Machado, Jose Ramirez, A-Rod, Sammy Sosa, Vladimir Guerrero, George Bell, Miguel Tejada, one of the Dominican. A lot of those, let's see, Guerrero, Sammy Sosa, A-Rod was a while ago. George Bell, I don't even know who that is, to be honest. Miguel Tejada, okay, well, that was a while ago as well. Okay, so, again, and then Manny Machado, when was the last time he was in the Dominican Winter League? Probably in the first 1 or 2 years of his career, or probably when he was a prospect. Jose Ramirez, probably the same thing. Those are guys that are still probably on their rookie contracts or are prospects at the time. So, again, explosive. Well, you know what? Yeah, I don't think Vlad Jr. is going to be away from. They might. Who knows? We don't know. If you saw the thing on Twitter regarding with the Rogers Center and the refurbishing of the Rogers Center in Toronto, like I saw the video that they posted. It's pretty damn cool. Like they removed a lot of the seats. They're like building all new stuff, and it's pretty cool because the Rogers Center is a very interesting building. The 7 Line went there, I think it was like 2019, if I'm not mistaken. I was there. It was pretty damn cool. That was interesting to be in that ballpark because it's a different type of ballpark, right? It's an older ballpark, but it's still very nice. And, it's a different country. So that's kind of crazy as well. Well, King Fuego, it would shut up a lot of Yankee fans, that's for sure. And you know what? I think the Blue Jays are better than the Yankees on paper. But again, they were better than the Yankees on paper last year, and the Blue Jays had no shot of winning that division last year. So I don't know what the Blue Jays problems is. Like they bolstered their pitching a little bit with bringing in Bassett, which I think is going to help them. And we already know about their lineup. I think what happened was they got up to a rough start in the beginning of the year, and the Yankees went on that crazy historical run in the first half. And I think it just took all the momentum out of them. But Yeah, I think the Blue Jays are going to be trouble this year for the Yankees and for the AL, excuse me. So, and it's going to be interesting as well because you know what? Finally, with the balanced schedule, teams in the American League aren't going to be facing just teams in the American League. They're going to be facing more teams in the National League that are actually good. Like the American League had that's why when people were looking at the Seattle Mariners, the Cleveland Guardians, they didn't play anybody. Like the Mariners won 86 games last year? I think that's how many games they won. But they were clearly far inferior to the Houston Astros. But people were acting like the Seattle Mariners won 100 games last year. Like that was like the hype. But it's crazy to me because like nobody played anybody in the American League. And the American League is garbage. And it's, again, garbage. All the big-time free agents, minus Aaron Judge, all went to the National League. And that's something that you have to look at. That when you look at it, that is kind of like, like, I don't know. It's annoying to me because, like, with the free agents, because they all went to the National League, no matter what team it is, it's interesting to look at because of the fact that all those players that are in the National League now, DeGrom went to the AL, but I'm talking about, I mean, again, I don't know what, DeGrom went to Texas. Like, I mean, he's going to a division that they're probably the third best team, maybe the fourth best team, right? They spent $500 million last year on Seager and Simeon, and they won 74 games last year. They got DeGrom. They made a couple of decent moves, but are they gonna, be a playoff team next year? I don't know, because I think Seattle is better than Texas. Obviously, the Astros are better than Texas. So, could they be a wild card team? It's really going to depend on the AL Central, right? Are the White Sox going to be any good? They fell apart last year. The Guardians are the team that won the Central last year. Who is going to be, in the AL East, besides the Jays and the Yankees, are the Orioles, who were expected to be big spenders this year, didn't really do nothing. And the Rays, haven't really gotten better either. So I'm really curious to think, and then, again, there's like maybe 3, possibly 4 really good teams in the American League. And I think that's stretching it, right? The Astros are obviously probably the best team in the American League. I don't know what the Yankees are going to be, to be honest with you, because I don't know, to be honest. They're going to be good. I mean, they'll probably make the playoffs, but how good are they going to be? I think the Blue Jays are going to surprise a lot of people this year. The Guardians are probably going to win the AL Central. Are the White Sox good? Who knows, right? Texas, I think, has a shot to make the playoffs, but they won 74 games last year or 75 games last year, and they were in a bad American League. So, and I think Seattle is going to be better. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, the American League. I think the American League is probably going to be the Astros and the Yankees at the top again until the Blue Jays take over that division. I can't say the Blue Jays just yet, even though I will be doing, prior to the season starting, my predictions, record-wise and everything like that. Will be very interesting to go over those records and division winners and wildcard teams and all that fun stuff. So, all right. So the Juan Soto thing, guys, could we just not? I can't. I got so mad when that was trending on Twitter because, like, who cares? First off, the Padres aren't trading Juan Soto anytime soon. So who cares about that? You can't get him in a trade. You can't sign him until after the 2024 season. So if he's not going to help us in the next 2 years, why are we talking about it? Like, I even get upset when people were talking about Ohtani when there was no way the Angels were trading Shohei Ohtani. And there is no way that Ohtani should be an option especially with Adi Moreno not selling the team now for the Angels, there's a chance that he might try to keep Shohei Ohtani. That's a huge moneymaker for that Angels team. So don't think that Adi Moreno is going to be, when he was selling the team, I could see Shohei Ohtani, the Angels not putting in a big offer for Shohei Ohtani, but Moreno spends money. He might spend it badly, but Shohei Ohtani brings in a ton of money for him. So watch out for the Angels to keep Shohei Ohtani. But I don't know if the Angels have another bad season and don't make the playoffs, Ohtani's not going back because Ohtani was already mad that they didn't make the playoffs the last couple of years he was there, and he seems frustrated by that. So, but we'll see. So I really do think that Ohtani, we'll talk about that in the offseason. Machado, we'll talk about that in the offseason because Machado's not getting traded at the deadline, right? Probably not happening. The Padres are trying to win a World Series. They ain't going anywhere next year. So, and then Ohtani, probably not going to get traded at the deadline. I doubt it. So we'll worry about it at the deadline. We'll see if rumors come out that Adi Moreno will trade Shohei Ohtani if they're playing badly. So that is something that we were actually going to talk about. But Juan Soto was pointless to talk about. There's a lot of other things that we can talk about with the Mets. Like, hey, can we get one of those lefty that are still available? I mean, we're 2 weeks away from pitchers and catchers and position players reporting. And Chafin and Britton are still on the market. And the Mets could use one more lefty that can make this bullpen extremely good and be dangerous all season with this bullpen. So that's something that I think we need to worry about more than worrying about Juan Soto in 2025. SoCal, am I doing a fantasy league this year? A lot of people have been asking me that. I am not going to lie to you. The last time that happened, it was a complete disaster. SoCal, I think you were one of us that did the fantasy with us, and I think you were in the chat a lot, and you know how that went down. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Because a lot of people stopped playing. I even had the problem with me that time when I did it. I was in 5 fantasy leagues, and I totally forgot about the channel one, and I was in money leagues that kind of, kept me involved a little bit more. I was focused more on that. There was a lot of people that were emailing me that want to do it, but they wanted to be a money fantasy league. Like, put about, what is it, 12 to 14 people. I was going to probably put up a poll if people want to have a $20 buy-in, because it seems like more people will be focused in that when it's a money league, because there was a couple of people, including myself, and I'm one of the blame, that lost focus because I was in money leagues, and it kind of I just forgot about it. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'll put up a poll on my community page probably tomorrow or even tonight that we can do a fantasy league for the channel, and it'll be like a $25 buy-in, and then obviously the winner gets the pot. That seems simple to me. We'll see if we can do it that way. I'll see, because I know the Yahoo that we did the last time, doing the money league with them, I don't like the money being away in an account in the Yahoo account, and I don't know about that. But maybe I'll do like a Cash App or a Venmo type of thing where I'll leave it in a safe account and let it gain interest a little bit, right? So if there's 13, 14 people, do the math. Let's see. Let me go back to preschool, elementary school. 25 times. Say if there's 14 teams. So if it's 14 people, $25, it's $350 pot. Again, it's not, it ain't gonna break the bank, but you know what? Anybody can use $350, right? Especially if you put $25 to win $350, it's not too bad. So I see SoCal being on a Kinfuego if you guys want to do it, that's cool. Again, we're gonna need enough people, so I'll do a poll. Look out for that either tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll leave it up there and see how many people want to do it. And I think ESPN, you can have about 20 teams. I'm gonna look at the which app or which fantasy league can put as many participants teams in that. So that's something that I think we can we'll do. And then because the more the merrier, right? The more teams or more people that join, the bigger the pot will be. And listen, anybody can use anything nowadays. Just ask Ken. Ken, how's inflation? Ken, did you shoot down that balloon? Sorry, I had to go political with Ken there for a second. I'm sorry. So I'll definitely put up the poll. So SoCal, let me hold on. Let me write this down. Let me just make sure. I bought this hat, so I get the 7-line thank you card and all that. Let me just and when you win giveaways, sometimes I throw that in there so you guys can check out the 7line.com website so you can actually because some people don't know where I get some hats from or some shirts or some hoodies. So and I do this here, give a little support to the 7-line because Darren's cool. And I mean, if you look at all my stuff, like that's a 7-line jersey. The one on the other side, there we go, is whoop. Hold on 1 second, guys. There we go. So that's something that yeah, that's what, SoCal, that's a good idea about doing that. Yeah, I got the black. It's actually behind the spring training shirt, actually. And I got the Shea retirement thing. I also have another one that I'm probably gonna give away as well. So and then again, guys, don't worry. Right before probably at spring training, what I'm gonna do in spring training with a giveaway. Again, it's gonna be a $5 entry giveaway for subscribers, and of course members. If you're a member of the channel, you don't have to give an entry fee. With the giveaway, I'm gonna do a $5, probably a $5 entry. You can have as many entries as you want. You just got to give $5 every time to donate to the channel, and that's something that we can actually do when I'm in spring training. I'll probably do like $100 thing that I can buy from spring training. While I'm at spring training, I'll buy like $100 worth of stuff, and then that'll be a giveaway as well, or something like that. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, SoCal, that's true. King Fago with the, all right, cool. Yeah, I know with the, like we don't give participation trophies now, but you know what? That's actually a pretty good idea for different payouts to different people coming in first, second, or third. That'd be cool. But yeah, we can definitely. I'll do a poll and see if people want to do it again. I would try to get at least over 10 people. That would be perfect. But I don't. I mean, I've done so many leagues from ESPN, Yahoo, CBS, all that stuff. Whichever one you can add as many teams as you want. That's what I'm gonna do because it's pretty cool to do it that way. Can a rough jersey? No, that's the one you have. So all right. So I got SoCal. Hold on, I'm writing it down, guys. And King Fuego. All right, cool. So make sure you keep on coming back to the channel, or even let me just for King Fuego and SoCal, I'm gonna give you my email. So just email me your phone number or your email or whatever, so I can get in touch with you if I'm gonna do it or not. All right. So I already got your names there, right there. Good to go. All right. So got about 15 minutes left. So topics are done. Wow. So I'm very interested to think. So I think so too. But again, I don't want to have see, that's why I want the money league this year, because you invest money, you're probably going to be more focused, right? Including myself, right? I was in no problem, SoCal. So I would like again with that league that I did with the channel. I think there was only like 12 people. it was me. Like I was in a fantasy league, a baseball league that was $100 buy-in, and there was 20. There was like I think it was like 25 people, and it was it was a big pot. I didn't win. I came in third, but you're gonna be focused on when there's a pot, a winner pot involved. So keeping people more focused, including myself. I think a buy-in for the league would be better because people would actually be a little bit more in there. Ken, you can have my email. Ken emails me more than my job. Put it that way. All right. Oh, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys. If you look in the description underneath the video, underneath the live stream right now, there is merchandise available for the channel that I put together finally. So if you click on that link, it will take you to the YouTube store link that has my merchandise with my channel logo on shirts, on hoodies, on coffee mugs, on hats, on blankets, on flags, all that fun stuff, accessories, all that stuff. So if you want to click on that link, it's right in the description below. Jeffrey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. You can get a shirt, get a I did request some a little bit of a like the shirt and the hoodie and stuff like that, just to see the material and to see if it's good, because I told you guys I've had a couple of issues with certain websites that sent me examples of hoodies and shirts, and you wash it and it peeled off, and I'm not going to make you guys spend money and the quality shit. That's just stupid. So the quality is good. It's a hell of a lot better than what I was looking for. So when you get it, just check out the website. I mean, okay, Fuego, no problem. So just check it out. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Again, the prices aren't outrageous. I'm not gonna make you price gouge you guys because it's stupid. But definitely check everything out. I kind of like the coffee mug that's on the site. It's a black or a white coffee mug. There's limited colors that I can do with certain ones. Because once you go into the blue and the orange type of colors, it becomes more expensive. And I'm not making anybody spend $40 for a freaking coffee mug. That's insane. So, so check it out. The hoodie is kind of cool. It comes in black. Every t-shirt, every hoodie, every sweater comes in many different colors. Black, blue, orange. Couple of girls were asking if I could put pink shirts. No problem. So, Ken, you're funny. So that is something. Oh, Fega, you know what's funny about that? Speaking of that, I found a frame, a Mets frame that was like a Gary Carter frame at a garage sale. It was like $2. Like, it's crazy what you can find in a thrift shop or like a garage sale with Mets stuff. It's kind of funny, actually. So for sure, check out the merchandise site. It's a lot of stuff there, from accessories to a book bag, a bag, a tote bag, everything you can think of, a book bag, all that stuff. Is something that that people were asking for a while now. So check it out. If you want to get anything, you can. There's a 5-day discount, 15% off everything on the site. So if you do it soon, you get 50% off, and then we'll go from there. All right. So and there's a channel sticker as well that seems to be popular among people. When I do giveaways, whatever's I do with the giveaways, it was hats, bobbleheads, whatever. I always throw some channel stickers in there. So that seemed to be popular. When I go to City Field, I just hand them out to people so people can know what it's about as well. So, and again, don't be shy, guys. Tell people about the channel, right? Share the channel. Let people know. Again, for some reason, there was a lot of people that knew me in Philadelphia. I don't know why. It was a lot of Philly fans that came up to me and says, "Hey, I know you." And it's kind of weird because like you're a Philly fan. But they were cool. But there was actually when I went with the 7 line last year to Philly in August, there was Met fans that were coming up to me and saying, "Oh, I follow your channel," everything like that. It's always cool to tell people about the channel. Like I said, not everybody's gonna like every channel, and it's pretty cool to like I said, this was just a hobby, right? And I can assure you, if you check my videos when I first started this, it was garbage. So you get better, you work on it, you get more experience, you get more, you understand the process more, and I think it's a lot better. Again, my backgrounds were terrible, everything was bad, the volume, the video, everything was really bad. But to come to the level that I'm at now, which again, it's not huge, but hey, listen, 4,500 subscribers is pretty damn good considering the fact that when I started, I was lucky to get 100. So I appreciate everybody who's been following me from the beginning, from the last year. But it is important to me that you guys know that every time I do this, it's not because I just like to talk. I can assure you, I can't. To hear my voice for all this time is kind of annoying to me. So I appreciate you guys enjoying it. And again, to make everything better, it's always going to be fun during the season because you guys know I'm going to show you a little sneak preview of my background for the Mets games live that we do when the Mets play. Where the hell is it? There it goes. All right, so this is for opening day. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like this. You guys are familiar with it. I'm going to take my when the Mets game's live. If you're new to that and you haven't been to one of my live streams during a Mets game, again, I got MLB Ballpark is up where you can follow the game live on the screen. I also play the TV sound from SNY, or if the Mets are playing on Apple, ESPN, or wherever they play, you get the sound from that. And I got a little box in the corner that is my reaction, live reaction to the game and all that fun stuff. And a lot of people liked it, enjoyed it, because you get to follow the game on screen. If you're at work, you can listen to the stream. If you're watching it, you can see the screen. So a lot of people enjoyed that, and it was a big success last year. And I'm going to do it again. And of course, I'm going to add some features. Like I'm going to add some Gary Cohen calls as well. Like when somebody a Mets hit a home run, I'll do the Gary Cohen, "It's out of here," stuff like that. He struck him out, all that fun stuff. We're going to do like that. And of course, for the members, I'm actually going to put new custom emojis out for the new season. Of course, I got rid of the Jacob deGrom custom emoji because he's not here no more. I'm going to add Verlander. I'm going to add a Nimmo one. I'm going to add a couple of Mets logos and all that fun stuff. So there's going to be about 4 or 5 new custom emojis coming for the 2023 season. I am working on a new 2023 intro that is going to be pretty cool as well. I'm going to do that probably sometime next week, probably at Citi Field. I'm going to be outside Citi Field and do like a intro to the channel prior, when the music is on and when the intro comes in before I pop up. I'm going to do a cool intro for that, and it's going to be pretty cool, and it's not going to show up until probably the first game of the season to go live, because I'm going to do my best to go live in the first inning of opening day for in Miami. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, guys. So Ken likes the delays. Again, it's going to even be more delays, just as always, because, hey, guess what? YouTube, everything that when you go live, you're a few seconds behind because that's what they do. So, and already, if you're listening to the radio, people like the radio, but people like the TV broadcast more. So, yeah, you might get a little bit of a delay, but you know what? Ken can handle it, so everybody can handle it. And Fuego, yeah, the growth is real. You ain't kidding. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight to Mets Hot Stove Live. We talked about Beatty working with Troy Tulowitzki and his defense. We talked about Matt Allen needing revision UCL surgery, so he ain't going to be available until at least 2024 next year, which is unfortunate because we had high hopes for one of our top prospects, and especially in pitching, which is very limited in the top part of the Mets farm system. Matt Allen was a big key for the Mets pitching going forward, but he's not there, so the Mets are going to rely on Ziegler and Tidwell for the foreseeable future. And, of course, the Juan Soto trending that went on when Juan Soto liked to tweet about somebody commenting the $500 million Queens man. And then Met fans took off with it, and it was trending, which makes no sense since Juan Soto is pointless to talk about for at least 2 more years. And that's something that we shouldn't be talking about because the priority now is 2023, right? Otani's not going to help us, at least in the first half. Machado is not going to help us in 2023. We got to focus on this team. And one more thing that the Mets have to look at is Andrew Chafin or Zach Britton. Bring one more lefty in. I'll feel much more comfortable with 2 lefties in the bullpen. And I'd rather have David Peterson in the minor leagues ready to go just in case of injuries. I do not want David Peterson in the bullpen because he is a guy that if he doesn't have it, he walks the ballpark, and you can't trust a reliever like that. And with the Mets making all these signings and a trade to bolster the bullpen, it's very much unlikely David Peterson is going to be in his bullpen. I'd rather have a proven reliever in Andrew Chafin or Zach Britton that I know pitches in the bullpen to help this team in the 2023 season. You get Andrew Chafin, this bullpen will be elite. Zach Britton, if healthy, this bullpen will be elite. So, with that said, guys, everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Mets Hot Stove Live right here on Talking Mets at Rob. See you tomorrow for the Shea Bridge Show, 6 o'clock. Baseball Mike will be joining me tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So tune in. Everybody have a great night. As always, let's go Mets. See you next time, guys. Boom. We're out. Have a good day, guys.
You'll find a Mets fan.